all right, we're here to educate, implement, and apply. Like from here on out. Our next few sessions will be kind of fun. Well, to me, we'll actually implement mental performance training into your actual softball practice. I hope it, just does what it needs to do. What do you think about that video, what he was saying? And when you reflect on your team, your culture, your dynamic.
Who's like the best, like who's like the biggest, like baddest person? It's like, who's the better teammate? Like who's like there for everybody? Like that.
The ones who try out, right, or get enlisted to try to become a Navy SEAL, it's not the top athletes, which physically you would think, oh yeah, they're going to push through it, they can endure it, right? It's not ones with big muscles, so it's not about looking fit or looking strong or being strong. He said, but it's usually the skinny and scrawny people, which looking from the outside in, you're like, bro, why are you trying out to be a Navy SEAL right now, right? But those are the ones who make it because they're emotionally equipped. He said that when they're emotionally exhausted, they still find some way to help somebody else. Not being emotionally exhausted and still being all for yourself, like I gotta keep going, but it's like when you see your homie or your sister or your brother down, even though you're tired and you feel like you can't even give anybody anything, like I don't even have it in me to pour it out to somebody, they still find a way to pick the other person up. They still find a way to positive self-talk them, to encourage them, and to motivate them. So those are the ones who make it, right? And if you were to line those people up before they even start their training, I know us would probably be like, oh, yep, that dude's gonna make it. Yep, he looks the part. Skinny dude, he's not gonna make it. But those are the people who have the most heart. Compassion and care for one another is the only way, honestly, that this team is going to finish out strong. And if you guys don't have that genuine compassion and care, that's what is going to make everything fold. And honestly, just from our past sessions and the things that the coaches have been telling me, the things that's been said amongst one another, you guys honestly do not care enough about one another to bring it together. And I know that. And when I asked you guys last session, I said, do you guys really care about each other? And you're like, yeah, bullshit. Because if that's the case, then what happened this past week would not have happened, right? So the thing is, the issue is really deep rooted in you all's chemistry, right? I know a lot of you guys don't truly like one another. I get that. When you play sports, you're not going to like everyone, but it's about when you come together and perform, all of that goes out the door, and it's strictly about winning. So in the moments of winning, I'm going to care for you as much as I can in the moments of winning. I don't care what happened yesterday. I don't care what I think about you outside of practice. If you piss me off before practice, that doesn't matter. When it's game time, it's first inning, first pitch, first hit, I love you, I care for you, like I am your best friend, I am your homie, I am your dog, I'm with you to the end, and we have to do whatever it takes to win. Do you even have a passion for the game? If you don't have a passion for the game, what are you playing for? Because me as an athlete, I don't play sports for fun. I don't. I play to win. And because I want to win, I love my teammates. When that whistle blows, that clock goes, I love y'all, let's win. That's all that's on my mind at that point. But you have to cultivate your mind. And also, I love my sport. I played volleyball and I played basketball. I love the sport so much, like, that was the goal. That was the focus. The sport, the passion. How dare I disrespect volleyball just because of what my teammates said? Okay, and I still got to play. I still got years ahead of me to play. How dare I disrespect basketball just because the coach pulled me out? Basketball is bigger than my coach. Volleyball is bigger than my coach. Basketball is bigger than me, right? It's bigger than my teammates. So it's like, you got to respect the game, respect the culture, respect the sport that you supposedly love. And that respect should carry over to the teammates that you're playing with. Because collectively, we got to respect the sport or we're not going to win. And I've heard comments about some people saying, like, I don't need this game. I don't need y'all. I'm not playing for them. Like, I heard some crazy comments that the coach told me, and I'm really, like, honestly disappointed that we literally talked about selfishness, and that's literally all it was last week, is selfishness, when you just get down to the bottom of it. Are you seriously willing to change, to adapt, to better yourself as a person, as an athlete, and for the sport. If you are, raise your hand. If you feel like you ain't got it in you, keep it down. All right, all hands on board. Okay, cool. I heard that it was some talk about the other players of Geyer. Like they got some smackers. Basically, the focus was too much on other players. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Personally, when I talk about other players, it doesn't affect me mentally, but I definitely need to think about like the team because I know it could freak some people out. So like going forward, I like understand that now, but yeah, like when I talk about players, it wasn't to try to like freak people out. I was just like, oh, that's cool. Like they have people committed or this picture that's really good.
And you know too, and I'm glad that you're already aware of that because one, you're committed as well. So you're a top dog, just like, you know, your friends are. So I'm glad that you do, you know, see that it could, you know, affect, you know, other players. And again, I understand that you have confidence. You're like one of the players, one of the players that has a lot of confidence. So you could literally give credit to where it's due and be like, man, they got this person, like they're committed and you're still gonna play your game, right? And then, like I said, it's easier because you're committed as well. So it's kind of like you fit in that category with the committed.
I feel like it's good to do our research on other teams, but I also feel like we're not applying it correctly. Like Savannah, like she knows them, but she asked one of her friends and she was like, just an FYI, and like she put that into account, like blah 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 can hit lefty and she's really fast, so like she can apply it correctly. But I feel like some of us just do the research and then we get scared and then it's like, oh no, like they have 7 slappers who are really fast, or oh no, their outfielders this, or like I feel like we just don't apply it correctly.
Right, it's the intention. It's how you utilize the information, and we're going to talk about that, right? So if you're talking about another team, right, and you're just being honest, okay, they got 7 smackers, this girl's really fast, you utilize that, right, to be prepared, not to be scared. Because then if one of the smackers come up and then half of the team is like, if one of the, okay, smackers are hitters, right? Slappers. Why didn't y'all tell me? Y'all had me saying smackers this whole time. See, y'all don't even got my back. That's what I'm talking about.
They're hitters, but they bat from the left side and they're very fast.
Okay, slappers. I'm over here saying smack. Okay.
They're the ones that get the running start from the left side.
Got you.
So I mean, I guess they do smack it.
Well, yeah. Hell yeah, they do. Okay, so if a slapper is coming up and your thought is, oh shoot, that's a slapper, like that's wrong. If it's like, oh shoot, that's a slapper, okay, bet, I'm ready, let's go. I'm exactly. IQ, that's all it is you take that information for your softball IQ. That's the only way we should be responding. Not like, oh shoot, because now you're getting froze up. Little do you know, guys, whatever you tell yourself mentally, it can either impair you physically or it can work for you, right? So if you're thinking in that way, like, oh shoot, it's a slapper, right there, you just told yourself in your body, like, tense, to be tense, and then you're going to be tense, right? Yes.
It's like what Fritz was saying yesterday, like, if you know so much about this team and you did your research, then adjust.
That's an advantage. You do your research, you know someone's coming up, oh, bet. That's an advantage. That's how you got to look at it, not a disadvantage. It's like, oh, I've already peeped game on you. I know your game, right? Now, if she does something totally different, it's like, okay, all right, now you adjust it.
They clearly weren't intimidated by us, so that's when you surprise them and hit the ball and make them put the good girl in. You know what I mean?
No, like, I just don't know how, like, anybody couldn't be embarrassed by getting run bowled by 10 against, I know they're good, but does it matter? Like, we take what we did last year. I mean, like, we were freaking awful, and we held our, like, ground against them. And now this year, now that we have talent, like, for us to go out there and get run ruled like that, like, that's embarrassing. And especially, like, for people who want to get seen by college coaches, our performance out there just, like, hurt you. Because if any game, you're going to get seen in that game. Because they are good. So use it to your, like, advantage. Like, I just think it's embarrassing. I don't know.
For college parts. I agree with everything except the college
No,
parts.
I'm saying like, but for people who genuinely want to go to the next level, you have to like utilize when you know you're gonna be seen. I think.
I'm just
I think so.
saying,
Like,
They're
No.
in season right now. Like,
no, but I'm just saying.
All she is saying is that she's considerate. That's basically what she's saying. Let's not be so technical. Okay, clearly coaches don't watch high school. But she's saying, though, if you all have players on your team that are getting scouted in some type of way, you keep that in mind, again, to serve, to have each other's back, right? Because, again, it's just not about me, right? I have so much respect, care, and love for you that I understand you're getting scouted. And whether a coach comes or not, if we have each other's back, you know what I'm saying? Then that I'm going to play even harder for you because I know you're getting scouted. That's what she's saying. And that's what you guys have to learn to stop doing, is stop downplaying what someone's saying and just listen and then try to connect the dots. Because literally what she was saying, I agree with wholeheartedly, because that's how I play. Because I love my team. Oh, you getting scouted? Well, we playing hard just for you. I want you to run your numbers up. I want those highlights to get up, right? You never know who's just recording and who could post something out on social media. You know how crazy social media is nowadays? You get what I'm saying? So instead of just rejecting her by, well, you know, college coaches, they don't come out and scout high school, like, that's the smallest piece that doesn't matter. What matters is she's saying that if you guys have an opportunity, I'm going to play hard so I can help you run your stats up. That's why you guys got to change your perspective sometimes and try to connect the dots a little bit better, right? Because then that's how you not shut people down, because you just shut a comment down that actually was a staple of this whole conversation. Yes.
I feel like one of our biggest problems is trust. Like just with ourselves, but also like with one another, because I feel that just like the way that you view like whatever information is given to you is what you're going to turn into the reality.
You don't take it as, this game is all about reaction and response and play, right? Who cares? Because every D1 player has a bad game. Every team has a shitty game. Every coach has a bad game. You get what I'm saying? Everyone gets affected the same type of way. So just think about if you guys would have came up to the plate like just scared, right? And then they would have had a shitty game. It's like you couldn't even capitalize off of that, because you thinking they so good that they're going to be perfect. All right, so utility and value. All right, these are, please write these down. Utility and value are the two main staples. They are the two catalysts. All right, catalyst just means it's a stimulant. It gives way to something, it influences something, it drives. All right, your willpower for application. Utility and value, right, is the drive, the stimulant for willpower in order to apply yourself, application. What is willpower? What does having willpower mean? The want, the dedication, the need. What is utility?
Work.
Like utilizing like the opportunities given.
So, it almost. So utility is the state of being useful, profitable, or beneficial. What this means is that if you perceive something as utility, right? That means I see it as beneficial, I see it as profitable, right? That means I'm probably going to have more willpower, more dedication, right, to be involved with that thing, right? Or to apply myself. So again, if I see it as beneficial, if I see it as profitable, then it's like, why not? Why wouldn't I be dedicated or committed to it? Because I know that it's beneficial for me, for my teammates, and et cetera, right? Like, what is the definition of value? If something's valuable, if I say it has value, importance, it has depth, okay? What else did you say? Worth, right? So if I perceive something as worthy, if I perceive something as important, then of course I'm going to be more influenced to apply myself. Okay, who sees their self-performance as utility and value? They value their self-performance, right? They see their performance as beneficial. All right. Now the team, honestly, who views their team performance as it's valuable and it's beneficial, it's profitable? Nobody. Okay, so you just proved my point of selfishness. In order to change, in order to adapt, all right, you're going to have to see these things as valuable and as a utility, or you're not going to be dedicated. You're not going to have the willpower to change. What is the number one thing that you guys feel like you need to adapt to, or you need to change in order to finish out the season strong starting tomorrow?
I was gonna say trust. I feel like sometimes we second guess each other, or like I personally second guess like how like much a limit like a person can go.
Okay, all right.
I feel like once we all get to that point and we trust that our teammate knows how to do their job and stays positive with them throughout that and has patience and trust with them, then we'll look a lot better on the field and off the field.
How can we start that adaptation? What needs to be done so you feel like you can trust someone? We're not going to go through all of this. This is actually going to be homework for you guys, but I'm just going to give you the concepts of what you're going to have to dig deep with. So adaptability is one of them. Who values accountability? You take ownership. Yep. Okay. Who sees accountability as being a utility? It's profitable. It's beneficial. Okay. Now you guys are raising your hands to this. So to me, if you see these things that we're listing as valuable, as a value and as a utility, that means that you should be motivated to apply. Change of perspective. Now, I call this also perspective versatility, right? We know what versatile means, okay? So that means basically you're open-minded. You are able to hold a lot of perceptions, well, a couple of perceptions about one thing, okay? And I think this team has an issue with that. I think sometimes we're narrow-minded, and once we perceive something one way, we kind of just go for that one thing, and then we hold a strong belief about it. And because of that, it's hard to adapt, right? It's hard to adapt if we're one-minded. I'm going to use Savannah as an example. Savannah gets upset, right? Why is she upset? Let's throw a bunch of perspectives out there.
Everyone's doing bad.
Everyone's doing bad, okay? What else?
She might be mad because, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
She might be mad because how she's playing.
How she's playing. What else? Nope, somebody else.
She feels like the whole team is on her back.
She feels like the whole team is on her back. Give me one more.
She feels like the team has more potential and like can play better.
Okay. Now, out of all of those that we just picked out, which one would probably be the most beneficial as far as healthy and positive, or impacting the team in a softer or a better way? Hers, right? Will we agree?
Yeah.
What was hers again?
Say it again.
Having, like, she thinks that we have more potential and can play better than we do on the field.
Right. So if collectively we was able, right, we are going to have certain perspectives. We're individualistic, right? We're going to have plenty of perspectives. But even as an individual and as a team, if we're able to pick the perspective that is most beneficial, that kind of gives light to darkness, it's going to make you feel better, you know, about yourself. So then that way you're not looking at Savannah as like, oh, she's selfish. All she does is care about, you know, her own performance. That's why she's mad. You know what I'm saying? But if it's like, no, she's upset because one, she believes in us and she feels like we have more potential. Low key, that's going to motivate me to be like, okay, let me get on my shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Guys, let's get it together. Come on, we can play better. I underlined appropriate. All right. And just going back, reflecting on the beginning of the conversation, we were talking about the focus of like the other players, right? On Geyer's team. So you can kind of like take that example and apply it to this without me going into a huge spill about it, right? Appropriate focus. Who sees it as a value? Who sees it as a utility? Right? You got to have appropriate focus. If you're not focusing on the right thing, that means your perspective is off. You ain't going to be able to hold anyone accountable, and you damn sure not going to be able to adapt to anything, especially not in the moment if your focus is off, right? You get what I'm saying? So this is for definitely on the field. Like a lot of this stuff is in the moment on the field, right? And of course it goes to off the field, because we got to get that together, because y'all just got too much stuff going on the outside. I feel like that affects the inside. And I'm talking about with one another, not like families and stuff like that. Last one, I'll just put this here. Energy transference. Okay? Somebody tell me what energy transference is. Come on, energy transference.
Taking someone that's positive energy and transferring it to other people.
Yes, ma'am. And it can go both ways. We know that, right? Mm-hmm. I make a mistake. I get pulled out. I'm in the dugout. I'm still cheering. I'm still being positive, right? I don't have to have necessarily a smile on my face, but I got good body language. Energy transference. Oh, she's mature. She still has my back even though she got taken out. I still support her. You get what I'm saying? And those are just two surface level examples. We know it can get deeper than that. All right, so for your homework, you're going to go through each of these, right? And you are going to explain what needs to happen under each of these, right? What we need to adapt to, what we need to hold each other accountable for, all right? How we can start implementing change of perspective. All right, give examples like, okay, when this happens, this is the way that we can think about this, right? And you can do it for self or the team, but mostly I want it for the team. Appropriate focus. What do we need to start focusing on, right? And again, think about your words. Words are triggers to how people perceive things, right? So do I need to change my language that helps me focus? Remember, we're talking about the impact of everyone, all right? How can I improve this, right? How can I increase this within my team? What needs to be done? What can we do as a team collectively to increase all of these and to tap into each one of those, all right? Besides this, I want you guys to watch a movie. You can watch it on your own. You don't have to watch it as a team. The movie is called, The Way Back. The Way Back. The Way Back, all right. It is a sports movie. It's a basketball movie. But I'm not even going to give you too much into it. I've seen a lot of things that relate to you guys, from the coaches to the players. I think it's going to be really cool. So after you do your homework, I want you to watch the movie. I think I will be meeting with you guys next week or maybe the week after. I'm not sure. Just knock it out. Once you watch the movie, okay, then I kind of want you to look back over your list, because the movie may give you some insight on what you need to adapt to, hold accountability for, and stuff like that. So you're already going to do it for your team. Watch the movie and then look back over your list, and then we'll come in whenever and get the job done. Next session, though, like I said, we're going to integrate it.